do we have a spokesman for the band?
They try to make me the spokesman.
Okay,
Exactly.
Heidi Jo Stinson, you play accordion and sing,
yes.
correct?
Mm-hmm.
And actually, we actually talked about you on last week's Cumberland Country. I had Mr. Dave Chale as my guest host, and you guys are old buddies.
Yeah, I heard that interview. It was a really nice interview.
I'm happy that you guys are in here. You know what? Do you want to go ahead and introduce the band right off the top here?
Sure.
And then we'll get that out of the way.
Yeah, I'd love to. To my left here is Brian Leonard on guitar, and he'll be playing the banjo as well. Right here on bass is Chris Fisher, and on vocals as well as Brian and myself. Patrick Shoring, he's over here on guitar and the mandolin. And then behind me is Nick Stinnett on the drums, percussion. So this is the Moonlight Peddlers.
And that's not your everyday drum set. And we were actually talking about this a little bit off there earlier. Real quick, do we have a mic on the drummer? No. Well, you'll have to explain it. It's what'd you call it? A suitcase drum?
It's a suitcase. The kick drum is actually built out of an old suitcase.
It's my old suitcase from when I was a kid.
No kidding.
The one I used to travel with
now,
as a child.
Is this something you guys came up with, or is this something that
Nick's a genius.
Is that what?
That basically explains everything here.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. You go, Nick. You know what? I want to start off the show because actually, I heard the sound check, and our listeners, didn't get to hear that, obviously, but you guys are sounding awesome. So we're going to kick off the show with a live one, okay?
Okay.
So what are you guys going to play?
We're going to play a song called Cold Stone River. Yeah.
All right. The Moonlight Peddlers.
The shadow, the leaves are turning brown, streams are getting shallow. Hounds on the prairie barking at the moonlight. Mama's in the kitchen waiting on the first light. Ooh, Cold Stone River, I call home. I can see the sunset on the horizon. Whippoorwills are called, see that eagle flying. The river's rolling fast, rocky like a hard light. The moon's rising up bright as the sunshine. Ooh, Cold Stone River, I call home. I can feel the air bringing in the cold chill, blowing down the grass, kicking up the windmill. A fire's burning strong, yeah, then off a warm light. A season's changing fast, putting up a good fight. Ooh,
I call home. I call home.
All right, Cold Stone River, Moonlight Peddlers live on Cumberland Country. What did you think of that, Dana?
I have goosebumps.
That's pretty awesome. Let's get started with some of my questions here, and because I want to get back to you guys playing live. How did you guys get together? How did that happen? I mean, are you guys all from the local area?
It's an awesome story for those two.
I'm originally from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. But long story short, or long story kind of still long, is that Brian and I had a class together, and for one of our finals, we got to do a creative art project, and I was tired of writing term papers, so I wrote a song and recorded it and played it, and that was it. I didn't think another thing about it. And then a couple weeks later, I got an email from my professor saying, hey, one of the guys in your class was interested in contacting you. And she forwarded the email along to me. And so he was like, hey, we're looking to start some original music, a band, So, yeah, long story short was me and Brian and Nick back here on the drums. We got together at Brian's garage, and we just started making music and jamming for the first time in Heidi's life. And and we just started writing and playing music, and then we found Chris here, who was a wonderful addition, and then we were like, hey, we're going to start focusing on 3-part harmonies because this is awesome. And then we were lucky enough to snag Patrick over here, and then finally we were like, hey, now we're complete. And that's basically the story of the Moonlight Peddlers.
Well, yeah, that's a good story. You guys have such a unique sound. I mean, do you have a name for it?
I think every one of us probably calls it something different.
Right.
I'm telling people we're folk rock.
I think all of our songs sound pretty different from each other.
Right.
I mean, if you hear one of our songs, you might think we're a bluegrass band because we'll have one, but you'll hear another song and you might think we're like an Americana band, or you'll hear another one, you might think we're like an indie rock band. We have a lot of different influences.
Well, that last song you just did, for some reason, and I don't know, you've probably never heard this before, I heard some like early Heart in there. Does that make sense?
That's awesome. That's like the best compliment that I've ever had in my life. I'm a huge Heart fan.
Yeah, I am too.
One of the most underrated bands of the history of rock and roll. Absolutely.
But I don't know what that was. I was waiting for the mandolin to come in, but I think that's coming up later, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's actually play a cut off your CD, and then we'll come back.